Hello everyone out there, this is Charlie Barley back at you with another video. This video is talking about why you will never win at the game of roulette. Why you will never win at the game of roulette. Now that's a very facetious statement, but it's a very poignant statement because what I want to get your attention to is why you are literally in your own way because of a misunderstanding and a lack of knowledge that you have about the game. You know, I have a few people who have gotten systems and they say, oh, you know, you scammed me or you robbed or you did something wrong. But I tell you the truth, and many of my students right now, and I'm going to be interviewing them, a few of them, they'll tell you that most of the time they don't listen. And I always have to bring them back and focused, right? And have them understand what they're doing. And then when they do that, they all start making money. Okay. So that's the whole point of the mentorship program, is because it really just helps you get out of your own way. And oftentimes, because you really don't understand what you're really working with and what you're dealing with, you're very erratic in your play. Even when you have a good strategy, you don't have a good way to manage it because you truly don't understand what it is or the environment that you're playing in. So this, I'm looking at Netflix, and what I want to show you is this video, and it's called The Secret Rules of Modern Living Algorithms. And it kind of speaks to how the game is whooping on so many people because they don't understand how it's really set up. Whether it's RNG, which is a complete algorithmic game, or the game itself, which behaves in a very algorithmic expression, which what we call random. Okay, I'm going to talk to you how the game is beating you, and I'm going to talk to you how you can actually start beating the game really simply. Okay, obviously you need a good strategy, but this is the simple foundation of your losses and your continual losses, regardless of your system, is what I'm about to show you right now. So what I'm gonna do is play this clip. I want you to watch it, and then I'm gonna interrupt in just a second. All right.
Okay. We tend to associate algorithms with computers, smartphones, and the internet. But they're not exclusive to the world of technology. My day job is Professor of Mathematics at Oxford University. And one of the things I enjoy most is keeping the students on their toes.
Okay, I'll say one.
Here we're playing a mathematical game with a jar full of chocolates and one red hot chili. The aim is not to be left with the chili at the end.
All right, so real quick, before I go further, I'm watching, just notice this. He said, I'm going to play a game. And in this game, I'm going to force you to be the one left with the hot chili. The hot chili, what's called the hot chili, is when you bust your bankroll. That's the hot chili. But know this, that he's baited these kids into playing a game. And the game is to see who can go the longest without ending up with this loss, with their blown bankroll, or with this hot chili. All right, so let's go further.
But what these students don't know is that I'm playing it with the help of an algorithm.
See, look how this guy's sitting here. This is the casino. Okay, this guy represents the casino. This is you. This is you. All eating the red chili pepper. The casino sitting here laughing at you. Why? Because he baited you. He baited you into playing a game, and he made the game really simple. Look, this guy has chocolates right here. It's really easy to take it out. But he's baited him into the game because he knows that the game itself is based upon mathematical principle and algorithmic expression that we call random. So let's go ahead and go further, and I'm going to show you toward the end why you can actually beat and how easy it actually is to beat it. I'm going to show you.
Okay, you ready? Okay, I'm going to go first. So remember, you can take 1, 2, or 3 chocolates at a time.
I'm not a greedy guy, so I'll just take one. Now, your turn.
Each player takes on their turn between 1 and 3 chocolates.
You've taken 2, okay. So I'm going to take, I'll take 2.
Whatever my opponent does, my algorithm tells me how to respond.
Okay.
All right. So in this case, it was like 1, 2, or 3 they could take. and as he said, whatever his opponent does, the casino, based upon your pattern, your permutation, begins to create an algorithm around it. Okay, so as long as you continue to play, it will catch up with you and you'll end up with this red chili pepper.
I'll take 2. And your turn again.
Oh yeah. So I take
3. I'll take 1. And just
so
the
wait,
chili
is that
left.
me?
Yeah, so you have to eat the chili. So there you go.
Let me reveal how the algorithm I was using helped me win.
The only way to learn. So the key is to think about grouping things in 4s.
13 chocolates divides into 3 groups of 4 with 1 left over. So by taking 1 chocolate in the first round, and then 4 minus whatever the other player takes in the subsequent rounds, this algorithm ensures that the other player is always left with the chili.
All right. So as you can see, he says this algorithm is always ensure that the other person's left with the chili. Now, in this expression, he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In the game of roulette, there are 36 variables, right? And the chili pepper or the losses depends on how you play the game. But here's the thing what I want to make mention to you. If you look here, the girls, and including the guys, they all had chocolate. So what made them continue to play even though they were ahead? It's because they were baited into the game thinking that they could win when they had already won. What's my point? My point is when you're playing a game like this guy is playing that is built upon algorithmic expression, particularly in RNG, which is nothing but an algorithmic expression. A real will is an algorithmic expression, but we call it random. The concept of random, the way to fight against it is through a permutation, which is what I teach in a lot of the videos. But here is your problem. You're sitting here playing the game too long and you're ending up with this chili pepper, just like her and all the other students, the college students at Oxford or wherever the place was, the students that were all around. Well, just like her and all these other students, it reminds me much of everyone at the casino. And it's like, everyone's ending up with this hot chili pepper because they just simply don't know how to take their chocolate and leave. This girl, they ended up with chocolate. They didn't have to eat the chili pepper. The guy told them it was a game. And in a game, that means you could stop at any given time. You don't have to continue to play the game. You could take your chocolate and go home. But for some freaking reason, I guess when you don't understand that it's random, the concept of permutations is built around the idea of a limited variable system. Remember in this guy's example, he was showing you that there were 13, there were 13 different candies in here. And based upon that, the expression upon which he would actually get you happened in a certain amount of time or spins. The game of roulette has 36 variables. Depending on your strategy, you have a window of time to actually make a win or a few wins. But your problem is that you want to be a player. You want to sit there and play all day. And that's the reason why you and millions of you are losers and continuing to lose. Okay? Stop trying to be a player. Be an owner. Owners don't play. They take money from it. Only players lose. You've never seen the coach coming out of a game with a broken hip. You've never seen him lose his career because he got hurt in the game. No. It doesn't happen because he's not out there getting hit. Right? So the key is to know when to be up and to leave. All right. So when you have wins, you have goals, you leave. There is an algorithmic expression that will catch up with you no matter the permutation. Now, I will say that when I say no matter the permutation, now that depends on your money, obviously. So if you have enough money to go 20, I mean, that's great. You just got enough money. But that's the whole point of the game, is to shrink that down. So how do you get past that? You don't play all day. You don't play all hour, to be honest with you. You have goals, you hit your small goals, and you compound beyond that. But you have to have good strategy to do it. If you have a whimsical strategy, it doesn't matter how compounding you are, you're still going to run into a loss because you don't even understand the expressions upon which you're playing, and you don't understand the algorithmic expression upon which you're being played against. Okay? So before you get out here and bust your butt, as so many people do, even if you get any of my strategies, understand that this is a game. Number one, is an algorithmic based game, whether it's done through random or RNG, which is called random number generator. Okay. I say we from a perspective of true randomness, I look at the live will as a true random play. RNG, I don't look as a true random play. I look at that as a tightened algorithmic expression that can be loosened or tightened as you choose if you write the code for it. Because again, there's a limited amount of variables. And because these variables are limited, the game can easily squeeze you into whatever it wants to squeeze you into if it's a software code that's writing it. The thing about playing it live is that it's true random. So at this point, you just need to be able to have a system or strategy or permutation that allows you to win a few times and then leave. Because what you don't want to do is be baited into the game and end up with that hot chili pepper. That's your problem. Your problem is that you're too busy trying to be a player. Okay, stop trying to play this. Be a winner. If you walk out of that casino every day with $5, you are winning. Okay. I know Pete, listen, my students will tell you this. And and I'm going to have one of them, continue to watch my channel. I'm going to be doing more interviews with them, but they'll tell you this. Many of them come into this thing and then they tend to drift and try to think of other ways to do it and play longer. And then I always have to drag them back and say, wait a minute, what's the objective here? Is the objective to be a player or is the objective to make money? Because if you're trying to be a player in a game where it's based upon an algorithm expression called random, it will eventually catch up with you. It's almost like if you're playing football. You might be able to score on the defense 4 straight times, but eventually you stay on that field long enough, you're going to get popped. So why didn't you just leave when you were 4 up? Why didn't you just leave when you were 1 up? It's an algorithm, people. I mean, you know how the stock market works? It works on the same principle. You know how marketing works, the psychology of marketing in a business? It works on the same principle. Same principle. Based upon your patterns, I'm going to do an X, Y, and Z move. And based upon the historical pattern of whatever you've done, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z move. Based upon whatever that market is or whatever that business is. All right. So that's how everything works. You know, if you're in a relationship, you know, and you see your significant other acting funny, you start to watch the patterns. And you say, hey, this is different. I'm going to sit here. Now, some people end up staying in the game way too long. And then they're in a marriage for 30 years. Now you're divorced and you're out of all of your life savings. And you got 4 or 5 children when you could have ended it earlier by paying attention to the expressions, to the rhythms, to the patterns. And I'm not trying to tell anybody to go out here and get divorced, but believe me, I was married for 1 year. It took me 1 year to look at the rhythm, the expression, but I didn't blame her. I blamed myself. because I didn't have enough knowledge of myself to make the decisions that I made to say that I was going to commit to someone, and I really didn't know who I was. So from that perspective, I made the choice to leave because of my own ignorance. Okay, I left the game, and guess what? I don't have any children, and I'm still not married. I've saved a lot of money and a lot of heartache and a lot of turmoil that other people who stay in the game that they know that they're losing too long don't have. I don't have those problems, and I find myself in that regard winning most of the time. I have a really, really good life in that regard because I understand that, yeah, hey, if you're not winning, then why are you playing? Right? You only want to play to win. So you make wise choices, you make your wins, and then you leave. But you don't stay there long enough, especially when you're on a losing streak, to be able to eat the entire chili pepper. You know when it's getting hot. So it's all an algorithm. So just think about that. Think about the fact of this game that you play. It's literally built to eventually catch up with you. All right, and it's built for you to win. That's the only way it works. So what you've got to do is recognize that the moment you start playing, there's a window, okay, for you to make your win and for you to leave. But I know it. I know. You see the lights. You're getting the free alcohol. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they make, when you have to go work for $15 an hour, $20 an hour, some people $10 and $5 an hour, when it's so difficult to do that, you have to get out of bed, get your clothes, drive, be in traffic, and then you have to sign in, check in. You go through all this, the physical, all the paperwork, just to make $15 an hour. Why is it so difficult to do that, but it's so easy to go to the casino and make that same 15, right? And then why is it that when it's so easy to make that same 15, they actually give you free alcohol? They give you free alcohol. The reason that they do that is because they want you to stay and play. Okay? The game is going to allow you to win most of the time. Your problem is that you can't leave. You've been suckered into the game, and just like the students, you're biting the red hot chili pepper. So I just wanted to say this is that, guys, stop biting the chili pepper. Develop a really good strategy, first of all. If you're interested in the mentorship program, I'm still here and available for that. All of my other strategies are good. The problem is that you're trying to be a player. Stop being a player. Okay? This game the game reacts every 45 seconds in some cases. It moves very, very fast. Most stockbrokers, most day traders are broke, by the way. You know why? Because of the variables the calculation of the variables that makes the index go up and down is just way too many. And number two, because of that, it actually the trades happen in like 5 seconds. So it's extremely fast. Can you make money? Yeah. But if you don't understand how to calculate it and the rules of engagement when it concerns that, you're going to lose every time. So the question, the issue is not so much being in the market as a player, but knowing when to just simply go in and make money and get out. The difference is in roulette is that the mathematical equations that create the variables are much smaller. The only problem with you winning is that you are trying to be a player. You've been baited into the game just like these children, and just like all of them, they ended up eating that chili pepper. And they had candy. They could have just walked away with the candy and said, you know what? I'm not going to stay around here long enough to eat this hot thing. I got candy. I've got money. I'm out. If you can just learn to be that disciplined, the power of one is really powerful, folks. The same thing you can do for $5, you can do for $5,000. Okay? I know. Very foreign principles, maybe. All right, guys. So if you have any questions on any of my stuff, permutationspro.com. great strategies. I still have the bundle package. I have the team play strategy, which has never lost. And I have a new dozen strategy that's coming out. All of this stuff works tremendously. Everything has works. The problem is that number one, a lot of people are not equipped. It's just like you can't go into business thinking, like I had one student who had $50. And he started playing with the $50 and he lost his 50 and he was upset about it. So my question to him, I'm like, okay, so you went into business with $50 and you got upset that you didn't make customers and it cost you $50 to operate business that day. So you quit because you didn't get customers and you only had $50 to operate it for that day. How dumb of a businessman are you? That sounds very stupid. You're going to be out of business well, you're out of business. Actually, you never really were in business. So it's a financial game. You have to be prepared for it. Okay. So you have to have adequate bankroll. What type of bankroll? It depends on the length of time you're playing. If you're playing for a longer period of time, your business is open. So if your business is open, you're going to have more overhead. If you have more overhead, you need more finances to operate it. So if you're playing for hours, but you have a very small bankroll, it's almost like saying, I'm open all day, but only have enough money to afford lights for the first 2 hours. Because if, God forbid, if I get customers after the third, I won't be able to afford it. Because I only have enough money to support a certain amount of bandwidth. You know, this financial system called Roulette is no different than anything you're doing in the financial world. But I know it's marketed to us as a game. It's marketed to us as something quick and easy. And it's actually kind of quick and easy, but it's still a game. And the thing of it is that it's bigger than a game. I don't know of any other type of model that you could actually make money the way you can with this game. I don't know of anything you can do that actually has the better chances and odds, at least the way that I play. So it's like, it's hugely amazing. And you may even have strategies that work consistently. What you got to do is stop trying to be a player. That's what your problem is. You're playing too long and you probably have very limited money. You'll come up and you're not okay with $50 every time. You're not okay with $20 every time. You have to make $150. You have to make $200. And then you're up and you have to go and get that last little bit. It's an algorithm, folks. The longer you play, the algorithm is following your pattern. And even in a random environment like a live wheel, you'll eventually run into something because it's random. So don't be the fool that has the candy and letting the game beat you into the point where you end up eating the red pepper. That's what most people do, though. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys that somewhat of encouragement to say, hey, man, this is the best outfit. If you really want to break free financially, the game of Roulette is giving it to you. Don't be fooled by the casino industry and marketing. And please don't listen to jackals who are telling you that this is all a scam and this is something, it's not. Only a fool. People, when you don't know better, you say what you say and you do what you do based upon your own knowledge. I get it. But I'm just saying to you, you never have to support me. But if you really want freedom, really think about what I'm saying. Look at these videos. You don't have to ever buy anything. Okay? If you want to join a mentor program and if you buy anything, I'm grateful. But even if you just looked at it and you used your own thing, the principles are still the same. Okay, it's just that the strategies may be different, and that's where I think I have an edge. It's not only strategy, but also principle strategy, management strategy, time and money management. That's all a part of it. It's a financial business. Okay. So you got to look at it that way. Anyway, guys, I think I've over-talked my time. Hopefully this was good. Hopefully you learned something. If you want anything, permutationspro.com. The mentorship is still available. Also, the numbers game is really, really high. A lot of people are starting to get into that. It hasn't lost. No one's lost to that. People are making thousands of dollars. And yes, these people are all real folk. And I'm doing interviews now, but with the people who are in my mentor program and people who are buying. So continue to watch the channel. I'm going to have more interviews from people who are literally right in the mix of things and actually doing it. So if you're listening to a lot of, if there's negativity out there, you know, there's a lot of ignorance too. You know, most people can't tell you why they are. You know, they can't break down anything. And I could tell you, most people who have anything negative, most of those folks, I think the biggest problem is themselves. Probably if they just slowed down and just don't be okay with winning. You know, and understand how to win, understand how to play. Most people don't even know. Even if they have good strategies, they don't even know how to play it. So nonetheless, guys, enough of that. Enough of my time. Permutationspro@gmail.com, permutationspro.com. And there's my phone number, 800 number. Actually, you can call me if you want from that number. If you have questions, you want to talk about the game, or if you just want to talk about, if you got a moment, if you think, hey, man, this is really ignorant, I want to see your theory and why you say that, I am so open for that discussion. I am really open. You can call me at the 800 number and we can have that discussion. All right, guys, take care until the next time. I'll be back with something else cool, more interviews and stuff coming shortly. Take care.